Yesterday, a good friend of mine asked the question, why would you even need different knots for ties? Surely a knot is a knot. If we limit it to the four in hand, the half Windsor and the Windsor, those are the ones that are by far the most popular knots. The knot that will suit you best comes down to the colour that it's going to sit in. And the colour that suits you best comes down to your face shape. For a fat face, a wide face, or a round face, a point collar is best, or a classic collar. And for a long face, a spread collar is aesthetically best. There's always a however. However, the majority of people will have more of a face like mine, a bit in between. It's not fat and it's not long. It's kind of oval. So you can get away with any style of collar. For this one, I've chosen a spread collar and a four in hand knot. Now, I'm going to show you the same collar with a half Windsor and a Windsor so you can see how the different knots sit with the collar. I'm then going to show you a classic collar with the four in hand, half Windsor and Windsor so you can see the difference, the different knots with the different collar styles, and hopefully it'll all make sense. So, as you can see, that fits quite nicely. Some would say that the tie looks a little bit lost in such a spread collar because there's a lot of space there. It doesn't fill the gap. A half Windsor, on the other hand, is a much more triangular knot and it fills the space a lot more effectively. I would say that's a halfway house between the four in hand and the Windsor. The Windsor knot does a much more effective job. It's much bigger and more triangular, more of a statement, and it does a much better job of filling that space with the spread collar. If we change the shirt for one with a classic collar, you can see the difference. So that's the same Windsor knot, but with a point collar, a classic collar, and there's a lot less space for the knot to fill. That looks absolutely fine for a Windsor knot and a classic collar, but I wouldn't want to go much bigger than that as a knot. The half Windsor for this knot sits really nicely in that gap and is a very nice compromise between the heft of a Windsor and the understated nature of a four in hand. So that's your half Windsor in a classic collar. Like I say, you could do a half Windsor with much more presence, but that's the size that I like to go for. And finally, the four in hand, a lot of people's favourite go-to tie knot. It's the first knot that we learn, it's the schoolboy knot, and it's the most simple, so it's a very popular knot. And again, it sits really nicely with a classic collar. So I hope that's been useful to see the different collar styles with three different knot styles, so you can see exactly why we use different knots with different collars. I hope that helps. I'll see you soon. Take care.